How's it going, y'all? Welcome back to Garrett Fab. Today I'm going to be going over bump stop removal with an S10 chassis, anywhere from 82 to I think 04. They're all pretty similar. This does not apply to the Blazers. I haven't dealt with them. But let's flip you around. I'm setting this S10 up with a Jason Thorbeck 3-link, and I am going to be fabricating some rear link bars that come off of this mount here and forward. So it's actually going to be a 5-link. But these S10s are pretty much all the same. The Blazers, I kind of think they're somewhat similar. Again, I haven't dealt with them. But these bump stops here, when you go to put air ride on these, or when you lower them any significant amount, these bump stops get in the way. They bottom out on the axle and they just make for a really bad ride. They're just in the way. But the easiest way to get rid of them is take a cutoff wheel and cut along that weld. You got one on the bottom side here, and you got another one right about here, if you can see that. So what you do, like I said, you just take you a cutoff wheel and go along those welds, and it should come right off. Now, whenever you do air ride specifically, you're gonna have to do what's called a step notch, and that'll be in another video. That'll be another time. But if you're just lowering it like 3, 4, or 5 inches, you can get away with probably like a C notch. I had a 2nd gen S10 that had nothing more than just a C notch in it, which is just literally a half circle cut out of the frame and then like a piece of pipe welded in, or they make kits for it and what have you. But let's get started on this and see if we can get these cut out. Alright, here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut across here just enough to get through that weld. Same thing on this side, or this side and this side. Now, we've all heard of safety squints. They do not exist. Make sure you're covering your eyes with something. There's no fun having to go to the ER, or even worse, drive yourself to the ER to get something out of your eye. So, with that said, where's my grinder? Let's get started.
Hold up.
Editing Brian here. You're going to see quite a jump. A lot of the footage is going to get cut out because do as I say, not as I do. Wear some gloves. I wound up taking a couple of chunks out of my fingers. I'm okay. Everything's fine. I still have all my digits, but just be smarter than me. Okay, so now that is off. You can see it laying on the ground here. The welds on these are a little bit wonky. They're not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. They're not deep at all. So, like I said, they're a little wonky. So be careful with the angle that you take. If you're getting overly aggressive, you can get into that frame a little bit. It's not terrible to weld up if you have a welder. If you do not have a welder, just take your time. Be careful. Don't dig into it. That is if you're trying to keep just this section clean. If all you're doing is getting rid of the bump stops for like a 2 to 3 inch drop, watch your angle. In my case, I'm doing a whole step notch. You could probably get away with not taking these off if you're doing a step notch, but the reason why I'm doing it this way is I want to set this frame on some 4x4s and get it leveled up, which is going to put me about ride height. And I need to move these spring perches back 8 inches for the Thorbeck 3-link. And once I do that, I can set my pinion angle and then set up the rest of the 3-link. Then I can start working on the rear link bars. Once those are in, that's all tied together. You can hear Dewey flopping his ears, shaking his head. That old shop dog, Dewey dog. Old man. But I can get the fuel tank in. The fuel tank is going to be back here in the back. I'm going to put in a Blazer gas tank, and I'm going to modify a fuel pump to fit in that Blazer gas tank, and that'll run the LS whenever I get it ready. It's over there. It's over there in the corner, right there on an engine stand. So that'll be fun. But that'll be for another video, obviously. But for this video, I just wanted to show you how to get those bump stops off. Because with those off, it makes things a lot easier trying to set up all your stuff, especially if you're doing air ride. Now, if you were doing a C-notch, all you'd have to do is cut out your semicircle for the notch itself, weld in a piece of like 1/4 inch wall, probably 4-inch tube, and just make sure you're all reinforced and everything, box in the back side, and you'll be good as gold. There are companies that make C-notch kits. There is basically a plate that has a piece of tube in it that you either bolt in or weld in. I had one on my 2nd gen. I wound up welding that one in. It was supposed to be a bolt in. They work, but what a lot of people do is they just get a piece of 1/4 wall tube and stick it in there, weld it in, and reinforce the back. So I hope this has helped you out, and make sure you get out there and work on your project, because it's not going to get itself done. Alright, I went ahead and did the other side as well. As you can see, as long as you're careful, it's not going to get too deep into that frame. So yeah, just take your time, find your angle, take more of a vertical angle if you can. Same thing for down here, follow the angle of the frame, and you'll be golden. This side, pretty much all I would need to do is hit it with a flap wheel and paint it, and you're good to go.